Hey you guys, what's going on? It's a Sunday Live Haul show, and guess what? We totally tricked you. Vicky didn't really leave and go anywhere. She's right back here in Vegas. What's happening? Seriously, the hair is looking really good, Victoria.
A little short.
She did get a haircut. Hey, what's up, guys? So our guest today is actually Dorothy Reinhardt. If you guys are in the Boss Facebook group, you know who she is. Also, what's your name on YouTube? It's like Dorothy, or no, is it?
Dorothy, maybe PND Finds.
Yeah, PND Finds. Yeah. You're like, maybe. I don't really know what my YouTube name is.
It's my eBay username.
But I appreciate the wig, and I think that the Diet Pepsi was a nice touch. But anyway, so Dorothy's here filling in. She actually lives here, and you're in Henderson too, right? You're technically in Henderson.
Just down like half a mile away.
Yep. And you know what's funny is that, you know, I met you at Open last year, like briefly, and we've really only hung out like a few times, but like in groups. We've never really done like one-on-one, so I actually don't really know a lot about you. No. Here's what I know about Dorothy. I know that she likes to source a lot, like a little bit too much.
Too much.
And I know that she likes to go to the auction. There's like an auction house here that you go to,
local
right?
Auction.
And that are you on like a buy moratorium right now? Are you like,
oh, my buy diet?
Yeah,
my no buy diet. I started that about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't bought anything. Not for reselling anyways.
Yeah. So everything that she has for her haul today, I told her, hey, go through the stuff you already have at home and find some cool things to share with us for your haul. So it's not anything that she got over this last week.
No, some might be almost 2 years old.
Yeah, so some of her stuff's been like waiting to be listed for like 2 years. Lorna says, and you're also part of the rock team.
Oh yeah, eBay rock team.
Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. So for anybody who's going to go to Open, Dorothy will be there, so you'll get to meet her in person. So here is another face for you to know already when you show up. So you already have friends.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so here we are without Victoria.
Serious
We're kind of sad. Yeah, we gotta get serious business.
Serious
What's going on with everybody? How's everything going? We've got like, oh, now we've got like 41 people watching.
Oh my
Does that make you more nervous?
I'm super nervous. I'm sweating. I've been sweating. Yeah.
I asked Dorothy if she wanted to do the show, and she was like freaking out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'll be fine. It's okay, because I ramble a lot and I talk a lot, so it's like, who knows, you might not even get to say anything. But anyway, so you tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been selling on eBay?
On eBay, about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 2015 I began. I opened up my bank account, I remember. Yeah, 2015, so a little over 2 years now.
All right. And what made you get into it?
Oh God, for real. I try to make it super fast.
Okay.
Stay-at-home mom for 20 plus years. Husband said, "You're nickel and diming me to death." So that means get a job, right? I said, oh, okay. I look, when you still fill it out, it says, your experience and references. I'm like, stay-home mom, don't have nothing. I used to be a gamer for 15 years. Addicted, highly addictive thing. So that's a real thing, by the way. And my thing was in games was standing at the auction houses, making money, virtual money. And then I saw, some shows on television about thrifting and eBay. And so I was like, you know what? That's the same damn thing, but with real money, real things. I can do that.
Awesome.
And that's what.
And so, you do that full time now, right?
I guess that's my job.
You guess?
I guess if you want to call it a job. Yeah, that's my job.
It is a job.
That's my job.
It is a job. Do you sell on any other platforms besides eBay?
No, not yet. Not yet. Hopefully, like maybe my goal is to get to about 1,000, 1,500 listings, and then when I got everything, then I'll spread out.
Yeah,
maybe posh.
You've been killing it lately, though. You've been listing a lot.
I've tried.
You've been stepping it up, so that's really good.
Thanks to Boss Up.
Yeah,
2 for 2.
Especially. Christiane, hi y'all from Kentucky. She loves your pink wig, by the way.
Thank you. It's a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, and so we both have our solds to show you guys today. Okay. And I think yours are from like the last couple of weeks. Mine are from this last week. And so we're going to go ahead and go through these. Hey, Sin City Hustlers, Johnny, what's up? Oh, Cheryl, look at you, right from the beginning. Just got home from buying a new phone charger. Very exciting. That's an exciting Sunday adventure. All right, let's see. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. And we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Dorothy.
Okay.
What is this? Tell us about it.
Okay. Apparently I wrote it down anyways that I bought these at a garage sale for about $5. They look pretty brand new to me. No box though, so I didn't call them brand new. The what do you call it? It's showing that it was $49.99. I actually sold it. It was best offer at $40, but I had a boo-boo when I was packing it on that there was a problem with it. So I contacted the buyer. Yeah, where is it? One more.
One more.
Two
more.
I
think it's this
one. Here you go.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right there. It looked like it was cut with scissors all the way through that last eyelet there. So I contacted the buyer. I said, "Hey, you want to cancel this order? You want me to cancel it? I'm sorry, or I can give you 15 bucks back." And she was like, "Give me 15 bucks." And then I got feedback of saying exactly as described. So
nice.
That well.
Yeah, so you handled the problem well.
I did. That was great.
Alexa says, "Hey, that looks just like Vicky." They can't see you now, but okay. So here's my first one. I think this was one that I showed when we were out doing sourcing. I think I showed this one in the car, and I was talking about West Coast art, or Northwest Coast art, as it's sometimes called. It's like from Canada, First Nations. It's like I think the tribe is called Haida. And this particular one, I took a best offer. Actually sold it for $40. With the guy Reg Davidson, whose signature is on the T-shirt. He's like a known artist in that style. And so, like I told you guys, this is just a T-shirt. I sold it for $40, but it's because of the graphics that are on it. So Gloria says Dorothy needs to speak up a bit to match Katie's voice level. Don't you just want me to talk really quiet? Would that be better? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just really loud. All right, Dorothy, what do you have next?
All right. Belt buckle, old vintage belt buckle. I bought these in a lot at the auction. It was like 10 of them in the lot, and I spent like $30. So paid $3 for it. I chose this one because of Katie's videos and everything. It was actually for best offer. But this is one of the ones that the buyer just paid full price. And I was like, well, this actually happens more often than I knew. Since I started doing, taking your advice on doing that, adding a little bit, and it sold for full price.
That's awesome.
Like, holy crap. Yeah. How much did I sell? Oh, and I actually had this in my antique booth too for $15 for about 5 months, and nobody bought it. But then about a week and a half on eBay, it sold for full asking, even though it was best offer. Sorry,
do you still have a vintage booth?
No, I closed that. This last June. June 30th is my last day for that. I was doing that for about a year. Did it, done it.
Yeah, not really working for you.
Don't want to do it no more.
Flippin' Particles wants to know how much I'll pay up for vintage T-shirts. Usually it depends on what it is. Most of the basic T-shirts I will get, I expect to make like sell them for $25 to $30, and those I probably don't want to pay more than $3, $4 tops if it's like a cool shirt that I really like. If it's a shirt that I know will go for a lot more, I think the most I've ever paid is $25. And actually, that one was in a video from that great garage sale thing that we went to at the Silverton, and it was a vintage. I think it might have been a 49ers T-shirt, like a ringer tee from the 80s, and I did end up selling that for like $80 or $100. I can't remember exactly. So I will pay up for certain ones if I know that I can sell them for a lot more. But generally, I pay anywhere from $1 to maybe $4. So yeah. All right, my next one is, hey, Big Drip Thrift, Allison saying hello, and Robin. Okay, so this one is another one of those jerseys I got at ASD back in, what was it, March, I think. And I only have like a few left of these guys. I've sold these like crazy. This one I took an offer for $50, but if you remember, I bought like 50 jerseys all at once from the booth at ASD. Basically bought everything that they had left before they packed up, and I paid $10 a piece for them, and I've sold all of them for almost all of them now for anywhere from 35 up to, I think the most I sold them for was 100, but this one I sold for 50. Did you have a question?
No, I was going to ask. ASD is coming up again.
Yeah,
go back.
I'm going to be at ASD. So any of you guys who are here for open, ASD is going to be actually happening directly after open. So I know some people are going to be sticking around, and of course I live here, so I'll go look, and eBay's going to have some people there, so I'm definitely going to be around. I don't know if I'm going to buy anything. I don't necessarily have like a bunch of money that I want to spend right now, but at the time I had some extra capital, and so it worked out. Like I said, I was sold almost all of them. So all right, your next one.
Oh, Michael Jordan. I picked this one because this was happening during the photo glitch thing. I've learned that I had problems with my photos. Somebody messaged me from Puerto Rico about this and said, do you still have this? And I looked at my listing, and yep, all my pictures were gone. I was like, oh crap. So I went and, you know, dealt with that, and I forgot to answer the guy about last week or so. Same guy messaged me again, and I hadn't fixed my pictures. But I said, let me upload those pictures real quick, because I had found all my pictures, and I put them back, and I said, yep, it's still here. And right away he bought it, sent it to Puerto Rico. I think it's showing that it was a shipping of $9. I did calculated shipping on this. Actually, he paid 23 something to ship it.
Oh wow.
So,
and he paid full price?
He paid full price.
Not too shabby.
Oh, it came from a storage unit. I do storage stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit after this, because I'll ask you some more questions about work, because you source differently than I do. Uptown Bug says, I'm doing 1 day of ASD. Have you gone to ASD before? Because it's pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of junk, but it's fun to kind of look around. And for streetwear stuff, you know, there's a lot of like low mid-level streetwear stuff, but so the best thing I found was those jerseys. I don't know if there'll be anything else like that again this time, but we'll see. All right, the next one. This is kind of a funny story, because I don't know if you guys were watching. I think it was like last week, or it was recently. I said how I think I mentioned that I was going to put on these Coach shorts to be funny, and it's like, and I put them on, and they were just like too baggy, so they didn't really have the effect. And so it's like that whole thing of like you touch something and then suddenly it sells. So it's like I need to go touch all my inventory.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Not if you go around touching everything.
Oh, it has to be just like, it has to be organic.
Yep.
Anyway, so this guy contacted me, and he was like, hey, I think this was on Tuesday. And he was like, hey, is there any way I can get these by Thursday? And I'm like, well, yeah, you can, but the only way it's going to happen is if you pay for express, because technically, like, I'm like, that's the only way I can guarantee it, because priority, it's like, there's no guarantee. And a lot of times priority is like 3 days. So he actually paid the full price of $47.99 plus $22.95 to get it express shipped to him. So yeah. Alexis, I needed to stuff some gym socks in them. No. ASD. So ASD, I can't remember what it stands for, but it really doesn't stand for anything anymore. It's like it originally stood for something, and then because the kind of what it is has changed over time, it doesn't technically stand for anything now. They just call it ASD Market Week. They don't ever spell out the whole all the words, because yeah, they don't use them anymore. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you, but ASD is basically, it's like wholesale stuff. So it's all new. There's nothing used. So it's like clothing and sunglasses and purses and perfume and cosmetics and like all this stuff. And basically you go there and you meet with vendors, and you can try and like wheel and deal, and you just make connections, and you can buy stuff there, or you can set up to talk to them later and just figure out, you know, it's basically just a way to make wholesale connections. Okay, Amanda says, I can't wait for Katie and Victoria to do the video on how to determine the age of vintage clothing. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that sometime in the near future. It's going to take a little bit more prep time, because it is kind of, we're going to have to like pull a bunch of stuff so we can kind of show you examples and stuff like that. But yeah, looks old is the best I can do sometimes. Yeah, I mean, definitely some of it has to do with just like you get to a point where you're better at identifying just the way a tag looks to kind of get an idea of what decade it's from. But there's a lot that kind of goes into it. All right, next one for Dorothy.
Okay. My Disney pins. Okay, pins I bought at auction again. I actually bought 200 plus of them.
Yowza.
Yeah, I kind of overpaid. I broke rule number 2. Don't get into a bidding war with people, but this I had to do it. So after I broke it all up, I paid $1.50 for this one. Now that looks good, but most of the pins were only about $10. They're worth about $10, and this is free shipping, so there you go. Some of them are worth good money. I mean, they make money.
Yeah.
And I did good there, and I actually had 2 of these, and they're super fast to list. Yeah, hidden Mickeys.
Cute.
That's about it. Yeah. I got another one there. Haha.
Yeah, so anyone who's interested.
Yeah, I got 200 pins.
All right, I got another jersey. This is one that I got out garage sailing actually with Victoria. It was one of the days that we went, and I found jerseys at a couple of different places. And this one I actually sold for they bought it for full asking price, so $101.99. And it's just one of these hardwood classics jerseys, sewn jerseys, and not all of these are worth a lot. Some of them are worth, you know, more than others. This just happened to be one that was worth a little more. And so, yeah, I was pretty stoked to sell something for over, I think this is the only thing I sold for over 100 this week though. I gotta tell you, my sales have still been pretty slow and a lot of like smaller sales. But you know, still cool sale. All right. Here's your last one.
Okay, my last one. I got this in a storage unit. I put down I paid nothing for it because I pretty much already covered what I paid for it with other items. Found this. I said, oh, look, I don't know. Let's look it up. And it happened to be worth some money. This thing is like maybe 1.5 inches. Oh, there you go. 2.5 inches tall, but 1.5 inches worth of a cologne there.
It's tiny.
Yeah, it came in I guess it was part of a set there, maybe a tie was in there. I went ahead and shipped it with the box because I figure it's protecting it, and probably that person wants the box too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for paying nothing.
Uh-huh. All right, my last one is actually an Etsy sale, and if you guys follow me on my Instagram, I posted a picture of me crying because I was being forced to take pictures of, I mean, I was calling these pants. I know they're just shorts, but generally I don't really even buy shorts anymore. Even though they're a lot easier to list than pants or to photograph than pants, but still, I was being a baby about it. But these were only up for a couple weeks, and I cross-posted them on Etsy, and I think I had them priced at $50, and a guy contacted me and was just like, hey, would you take any less for these? And so I said, sure, I'll take, you know, I would do 40. And so he paid 40 plus shipping. I think these went to Canada. So he paid like, it was $10 because they were under 8 ounces. And they went to Canada. So that was my little sale for Etsy for the week. All right, let me go back and get us out of the screen share. Okay, let's talk a little bit about sourcing then. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wear the wig the whole time. You're probably going to get super hot.
Yeah, let me fix it. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so sourcing. So like I do almost all of my sourcing I do in thrift stores. Mm-hmm. I do a little bit of retail arbitrage. I'll go do yard sales with Vicky sometimes when she really wants to go. We haven't gone in a while. I don't know what
Sorry. No. Hey, that's the look, right?
But that's pretty much what most of my stuff is. I go to yard sales, or sorry, not yard sales. What's going on? Oh, Dana's here taking pictures for her own stuff. She might come back later and show us something cool that she got, but she's taking pictures downstairs. Anyway, so yeah, I go to vintage stores, or sorry, thrift stores. Do you go to thrift stores at all?
I used to. I don't do Savers.
You don't do Savers?
Savers to me is way too expensive.
Yeah.
Now Savers is clean and very organized. I give them that. I like Salvation Armies.
Okay. See, Salvation Army here drives me nuts because it's like I know there's somebody out there. There's somebody out there who watches the show who works at the Salvation Army, and she cringes every time because I say how it's like disorganized. I mean,
you got your dollar days, and you got all that. So I will go to Salvation Armies, but mostly my favorite would be the garage sale. Okay. That's the best turnover.
But you do hard goods, more hard goods than like clothing,
I think
right?
So I always tell people I lean toward men's clothing, but that doesn't seem to be what it truly is now that I realize that. Okay, so tell us about what's this auction that you go to? I go to the local auction every Sunday to get away from the house, even though I plan not to buy stuff, but I always do buy stuff. And I do the lots. My favorite things there in the front, they do the big items, you know, the most expensive items, single items and things like that, shelf unit. In the back, they'll have carts and things. And the carts is where a lot of stuff is. Don't you have to go like the day before to like look at it or something? Saturday's viewing. You go in on Saturday. Usually you can go view stuff, look it up. And I went like one time. We had there's an auction house in Oregon that I would go to. Well, I went to it one time. But it's like you go in the morning and you can go around. You can see everything that's going to be coming up later in the day. But it's like a whole day affair. And it's like for me, just I think I bought a couple of things, but for the most part, I was like, eh.
But you're like,
right.
you're there all day, aren't you?
I am not on the viewing day. Viewing day only takes about an hour. You can look online what they have and kind of choose what you're going to look at. And, you know, every auction house is going to be different. Sometimes the same day or the next day. Yeah, I am there all day. It's a waste of time, but for me, it's like my Sunday, what I do.
So are you sad right now that you're not at the auction house?
No, I'm actually okay because I'm on my no-buy diet. So
Oh,
it's helping me there. And then also they do the storage units.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you, and so how does that work here?
It's just like you see on TV. You go there on that show. You go there and you can't touch nothing.
How many people are usually there? Does it get ridiculous?
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the good, like for being in Vegas, the off season, fall and spring, it's really lots of people. Nobody wants to deal with it in the summer, so it's a lot less people. It really, really depends. Really depends.
When's the last time you did that?
Oh gosh, probably last fall. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
See, I couldn't handle doing that because it's like I want to buy only the stuff that I want to sell. So like dealing with, first of all, not knowing what you're gonna get, and then you gotta, I guess, but then you gotta you gotta figure out what to do with all the stuff that you're not gonna sell, and
yeah, it's really dirty.
I mean, you guys, I can't even get myself to list pants. Come on, so
it's really a lot of work, really dirty, and I suggest have a truck. If you don't have a truck, that's a problem. And access to a dump.
Yeah, pretty much. For
the mattresses. Every unit has a mattress, at least, or something's wrong.
Yeah, Allison says, right there with you. My sales are down. Just gotta keep plugging along in the list. Nowhere to go but up. Yeah, here's the thing. Even when for me, it's like when the sales are down, it makes me want to list more. I know for some people, it's like harder to be motivated to list when you're not selling anything. But for me, it just makes me want to list things more. And the way I see it is that when sales do pick up, I'm just going to have more inventory for people to choose from. And so, you know, when sales are down, I'm definitely not sourcing as much, but I'm trying to keep listing. And
for fourth quarter.
For fourth quarter, right. Because we're going to hit fourth quarter. I'm telling you guys, you're going to hit September. And sales are going to start going up. You hit October, and it's even more so.
Then you're going to wish you had those listed.
Yes. Yeah. So you got to have that stuff listed. I definitely wouldn't advise people to go out and spend a bunch of money if you have no money coming in. But if you can cheaply source, that you can keep listing, or if you have a huge backlog of stuff, I mean, you could probably not source for, I don't know how long.
I say probably about over 1,000 items for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so you would probably be good for a few months if you.
Oh, months! I'd say at least probably a year.
Yeah,
because I'm slow.
Yeah, and I think, and you know what? I think the majority of people source more than they list. So I'm guessing that all of you guys could be listing more to get ready for fourth quarter without spending any more money. I would need to spend some more money, but you really got to do it. Yeah, you guys talking about Salvation Army Ladies of Charity thrift store? Yeah, almost the whole store. The last Wednesday of the month, almost the whole store is 50% off. The majority of the clothing is $1, so it's 50 cents. Wow. Oh, you guys see her shirt. Check it out.
I found this in my desk piles. I probably bought
you guys, it's the same one that I have.
At least a year and a half ago, I forgot I bought that.
And I'm wearing my Paws Jaws t-shirt. And I'm wearing my Camp Crystal Lake hat in honor of Victoria, who's not here because she is at summer camp. Hopefully a less deadly one than a Friday the 13th. Camp. Yes, as Allison says, or you can just send your inventory to me because she sent me a couple boxes so far. So, Samantha says that her husband has that shirt. Oh, so Samantha, I'm glad I just saw your name pop up. I even have it written down in front of me because I wanted to make sure I gave you a shout out. Samantha actually sent me a little present in the mail. I got to show you guys. She sent a very nice letter and then a present. Seriously. Look at how ridiculous this is. Come on.
Oh, overalls. They look like overalls.
Well, it's like it's not, I don't think it's overalls. I think it's supposed to be like a little kitty carrier in front. It's supposed to look like, maybe it's supposed to be like overalls. Yeah, I guess it is. But it's got a little kitty cat in the front. And then, yeah, less deadly. Let's shoot for 0 deaths. Okay. Christine, I agree. Let's go for 0 deaths. No Friday the 13th up in Washington where Victoria is. Also, before we get into our actual haul, I will show you, since I went sourcing on Thursday without Vicky, I didn't get to make a video where I said, hey, Vicky, look what I found. But hey, Vicky, look what I found. I think Robin's going to appreciate this because it does have a unicorn on it and awesome kitty cats flying around in the moon. And this shirt is sweet. Anyway, Samantha, thank you so much for sending that t-shirt. It's super awesome. All right, so you did some digging around in your death piles upon piles upon piles.
From my living room.
And you've been doing like a bunch of like, have you been like reorganizing or trying to dig through all your stuff?
Yeah, along with my no buy thing, I need to get control. That's my other thing. And I hold myself accountable. And
so we're gonna see what you got, and you're gonna tell us if you can even remember when you got it.
I wrote it down. I wrote my notes.
You wrote it down. She's got some cool stuff, guys. So show us what you got.
Oh, okay. Well, I try to pick things I can remember. These things are so many things at my house. I try to pick things that were interesting.
Okay, so just show us a couple things, and then I'll show a couple things. We'll go back and forth.
All right. I guess let's start with these. These. Oh yeah, I want to hit you.
Don't get me in the face.
Oars.
Hey, speaking of camp, you gotta have oars at camp so you can go out in a canoe.
Yeah,
why are they little baby ones? Are they like a special kind?
I think they're signs.
Okay.
You know, for Avatar Man Cave, and I don't know if they're real oars, but I saw the Indian on them, and I said, ooh, like like Indian motorcycles or something, and yeah.
Indian Head brand. Yeah. Indian Head Sporting Goods, Ripley, Missouri.
Sporting Goods. So it's like a Bass Pro Shop kind of thing,
Very
probably.
Cool.
Yeah, I bought the. Oh, I almost lost these. I had picked them up, and I did the horrible thing of putting them back down, and walked away. And I said, "Wow, those are actually cool."
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, "They are pretty cool." and he picked it up, and he asked the guy, "How much for this?" $1. I was like, crap! In my mind, I'm over here trying to look them up, and then I said, and then they took the other one, and his wife is like, keep one, hang it in the garage. So I was like, okay. Then he took the other one and took it back to his garage. I was like, crap, double crap, right? Anyway, so I went to my car, I came back, and I said, can I talk you to the other one in the garage? And he said, yeah, sure, $1. Then I left, and I came back. The guy that bought the other one is still there. Can I buy that other one off of you? He said, no, I really need it. He went to his car. I said, I'll give you $10. And he said, okay. So I got them both.
So you got sucked it in. You got them both. And then how long ago did you get them?
Oh, maybe September.
September?
Yeah, I got these in September-ish because I remember it was
so
fall.
basically you have FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And so you get into bidding wars, or you basically pay a guy 10 times what he paid for it.
Right.
So it can go and sit in your garage for months.
Right, yeah. But they're worth about $35 a piece.
All right. All right.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Christiane says, I can row a boat. Canoe? Canoe?
That's where when I go up Ship Creek, right? Okay.
There you go. All right, next thing.
Oh, another one?
Yeah, do you want to show us another one?
Oh, this one's too big, maybe. You want to
Well, you can stand up.
Oh.
Here, I'll do it.
Okay, I got this at a garage sale. This was probably last winter.
Last winter.
Yeah, it's a.
Okay, we'll at least get this up by fourth quarter.
Okay, In-N-Out Burger blanket. I was told the employees got this, but I think they sold this on their website also.
I think that everything that you're showing us today, they should be on your list of next things to list.
That's a good idea. I have to hold myself accountable. Okay, I'll do that. I paid $5. It's probably worth around between 30, 40 before shipping. So
did you find any comps?
So I did on Worth Point about 30 to 40. Yeah, so I'll list it. But it's so big. And that's one of those things. I'll do later.
I feel like you could get a little bit more for it, but I mean, maybe that's just me.
Depending
on if there's any other ones that are out there. Christiane wants to know, what did the 0 say to the 8? Now, when I answer this, is it going to be appropriate?
7, 8, 9.
They're over there. No, that's like.
Oh,
that's like, why is
something afraid of?
I don't know. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Wah, wah, wah. They're over there like telling their dad jokes over on the side over here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, G. Jasso says original In-N-Out Burger was located in my hometown of Baldwin Park, California. Very cool, guys. See, in Oregon, we have Burgerville, which is delicious. I think there's like one in Washington, maybe one like just over the border in California, but it's all about Oregon. And Burgerville, their shakes are the best. Their burgers, I like their black bean burger, but their shakes are what it's all about. Anyway, all right, so I'll do a couple of things.
Okay.
All my stuff's clothing, so most of it's kind of boring, although I'm not going to show you. How dare you?
Rude.
See, she is getting sassy, guys. She's
Rude.
totally sassing me. Anyway, so there's one thing, I'm going to save it till a little bit later, but there's one thing I found after I dropped off Vicky. I found it. It was the very first thing I grabbed. It was on the rack to go out, so it had just come out. I sent a picture to Vicky. She told me she hated me because it's something she's never found. It's like on her little bucket list of things she'd like to find out in the wild. It's kind of like how I'm always finding the Champion reverse weave vintage sweatshirts, and she's never found one. Well, this is something she's never found here. I never thought I'd find it in Vegas, but I will show that in a little bit. Just a little teaser for you guys. All right, so I'll show this first thing. I just was looking it up before I started the show. It's not going to go for a huge amount, but it's a cool jacket. It's Brazil. Speaking of the World Cup that didn't France just win the World Cup? You'll know. Sure. France was up against Croatia.
Sure.
And France just won. And so anyway, this is from, I don't know what year this is from, but this is a FIFA World Cup Brazil track jacket. It's a cool jacket. It'll probably sell for around like $40, so not a crazy huge amount. I paid $13.99, but it was 20% off of that. If this was Nike brand, it would probably go more for like $60, but this is just FIFA World Cup like brand. It's not like Adidas or Nike or anything like that. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but if you're not watching it live, there's no such thing as a spoiler alert when we're talking about sports, guys. Come on. Anyway, okay, and then I found, of course, a bunch of T-shirts. I found two of these that are clearly dead stock. These are from 90s Arizona Cardinals T-shirts. It's cool because I think this one is an extra large, but I got an extra large and I got a large. But I should be able to sell these for, I think, like $30 each. And yep, I got two of them right next to each other. So I went ahead and snatched those babies up, but they're both the same. And they're nice and crispy, that crispy dead stock.
Great condition.
Yep, excellent condition. I'm pretty stoked about it. Let's see. I'll show one more thing. This, I wasn't sure about grabbing this, but then I decided to go for it. This is kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't know. The tag's not in it, but because of the things I've talked to you guys before about vintage T-shirts, I can tell it is vintage. Look at see how wide this collar is. And then we've got the single stitch on the sleeve and on the hem. So I know this is a vintage T-shirt. At the very least, it's 90s. It could be 80s. But again, I don't have a tag to be able to tell. But what it says on it is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Azaro Paris. It's actually like, I believe, a fragrance company. So some sort of fragrance company. So I'm hoping it was something that was popular back in the day when it was around. Maybe some of you ladies can tell me. I don't know if that's like a cologne or a perfume. But if somebody here knows, tell me if it's super cool. Is it like super dated, like, CK1 or something like that used to be like the she is and now is not so much. But anyway, maybe I can sell it for $25. We'll see. All right, back to you.
Okay.
What you got?
I did go to garage sale. This was not too long ago, probably the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Only 6 months or so ago. And I got this cool thing. It had a whole bunch of stuff. It was an estate sale. Somebody was helping. It's not a bathing suit. It's the 80s. Let's get physical.
Is it like jazzercise type thing?
Wow. From like,
let me see the tag. Gotta have it, guys.
Yeah, but
wow.
The aerobic up your ass thing.
And you gotta wear the tights, but they have to have like a metallic sheen to them.
And the leg warmers.
Yes.
And the leg warmers. Well, that's what this is.
Wow.
She actually had a few of them. I think I bought 3 of them. I'm not sure what the other ones are.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and at the same garage sale, I picked this up. Vintage tee, right?
Well, let's see.
It says 93.
Oh yeah, 93.
Okay.
And it is single stitch. Van Halen 93.
It's missing. It's tagged. It's
missing a tag. Let's see, but it's front. Okay, here's the thing, guys. So Sometimes, you know, you got to worry about like bootleg t-shirts, because what happens is, like for rock concerts especially, people will make bootleg t-shirts and sell them in the parking lot like before the show. And so you want to be really, really careful, because they will, a lot of times it will get reported. A lot of these big music companies will have people who work for them specifically to look up and see if stuff is being sold illegally on eBay. And if it gets pulled, it could get zeroed. And then you do get that happening to you too many times, you can get your account suspended. So there's a couple of things. This doesn't have a tag, but that's okay, because I think, you know, first of all, it is the single stitch, but it actually has a copyright printed on it. And that's really important, because here's the thing. When they're doing those, you can see it right there, and it says 1993. When they're making like knockoff t-shirts to sell in the parking lot, they're not trying to like match up copyright dates and stuff like that.
And there are a bunch on there.
Yeah.
Worth point.
Yeah, and if you can find the exact same one, plus when it has the front and the back printed on like this for a tour, that's another really good sign that it's totally legit. So like this, I would feel completely comfortable listing something like this. Another way, like if it had the tag, a lot of times the people who are bootlegging, they'll use t-shirts that have the tags cut, and because they're cheaper to buy, they're cheaper blanks to buy, because they're usually irregulars. And so that's another kind of sign that it might not be a legit t-shirt, but this is really cool.
Thanks.
Sorry for the long explanation, but how much do you think you can sell that for?
I put down between 20 and 40. That's what I was looking at.
All right.
Without the tag. So I was like, you want to try
I think
these
it's
on?
okay. No.
You sure?
Okay. I think it's okay to not, I don't think the tag is going to like take away from the value of it, honestly.
So let's see.
I really don't think it will.
Garage sale, 50 cents. 50
very,
cents.
very cool.
50 cents. Okay.
Big thrift howdy companies in China get away with selling knockoff concert and Harley Davidson tees on eBay. Here's, you know, I don't know. I'm sure some of it is that they, pretty much anything that you can get in trouble for selling on eBay, you can go look and you'll see a ton of them up there on eBay. But so it's like they can't really necessarily keep up with all of them. So sometimes you'll get away with it and sometimes you won't. And I would say it's probably because if you are a seller who's doing shady stuff, you get your account taken down, there's ways that people can get around it. They start new accounts with a different IP address, a different email, and they just start over. I mean, people who do shady stuff on eBay as sellers know how to kind of get around that. And, you know, I know eBay tries to battle them as much as they can, but I really don't have like a great answer. So, Christiane, we would expect no less than a long explanation, Miss Katie. Anyway, all right.
Oh, another one?
Yeah, show one more.
Okay, I got this in, I think, October. Right? Affliction.
Okay.
All right, Affliction limited edition leather jacket.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. I got this from my friend's thrift store, and I go in there periodically. He said to me, I need stuff for my store. And I said, well, I got a bunch of garage sale bins ready. So I said, I'll trade you. So I traded.
So basically you almost got it for free, basically?
For free. I haven't listed it because look at it. It's so super dirty. It's really dirty.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't think it's bad.
Well, that's just my excuse.
Yeah, I think you should get it listed. Now, Affliction is one of those brands that is not as popular as it used to be.
Right.
But certain things are going to still do well, which I would think like a jacket like that would, you know, there's still people who are into it.
Worth point. I think I saw it in 2011 for $500.
Yeah. Now that's 2011, and that was probably like at the height of when Affliction was super, super popular.
So I'm hoping 150.
Yeah.
150.
I think you could probably do that. Yeah, there are a lot of bootleg tees out there for sure. But I've had something pulled down before. Can't remember what it was, but it might not have been a concert tee, but I've definitely heard of people having them pulled down. And Allison, I have a feeling you had a very, very bad experience with steaming leather, because this is at least the second time I've heard you warn against the steaming of leather. So do not steam the leather, apparently. Do you have like any leather cleaner? Yeah,
and actually it's very therapeutic to clean leather for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, to sit in front of the TV with the saddle soap and a little bit warm little toothbrush.
Well, then get on it. All this stuff. Okay, what is it today? You guys, it's the 15th.
Oh my God.
Can you have all this stuff listed before the end of the month?
Okay.
All right. That's the challenge. That's the challenge of Dorothy. She's gonna get all the stuff in this bin listed by the end of the month. That's even with open happening. So all right, because we want to be able to like report back on the stuff that you sold. So yeah. Amanda wants to know, can anyone give advice on the best place to get mannequins? They're pricey online, and I'm not having luck checking Facebook, Craigslist. You know, you kind of have to just keep an eye out for them. Stores will, when stores go out of business. Actually, Vicky's daughter recently like sent us a picture back. She had gone like dumpster diving. There was some store that was closing, and it was full of like full mannequins, like full. And Victoria was like, "You need to get back there right now. Fill up your car. You can sell those for $100-$150 each."
She lives in a big city.
She's in Reno, and so you know what though? Seriously, like the mannequin that I use is it's a half hanging mannequin. Here, let me show you. Let me see if I have something good. Oh, here we go. I'm going to share this real quick. But like, as far as like a male mannequin, and I'm sure a lot of you are looking for women's too, but the male ones, if you notice, you can see that this is one of those half mannequins. So it's really just the torso with like partial legs. But it works. I think it works perfectly fine for men's clothing. And honestly, you can buy these. Lorna just got one a couple months ago. Lorna, can you tell us how much you paid for that? I think it's only like $30. Right. They're really, really cheap. As far as, you know, getting a full mannequin,
like example, well, you know, she's in Reno. I mean, that's a big city, right? So they probably have store display stores. We have a few of them.
Are they expensive?
I don't know. The mannequin place that we have here, they also sell secondhand ones too.
Very cool.
Check in on.
Somebody Gretchen asked how Vicky's weekend of bugs and rugrats are going. The kids, I think, just got there within the last hour. So yesterday morning, all the counselors got to the camp and they were setting everything up. And then I think around like 2 o'clock or something today, all the kids were going to be showing up. So she is just getting started with the craziness. I can tell you that. Walmart has mannequins online, not bad prices. Now, is that Walmart that's selling them? Because their third parties sell on Walmart, just like on Amazon and on eBay too. So it may not be Walmart, but on their website. It is just for, Lorna says she has the half male Manny like I have, and it was $35 free shipping, totally worth it. It's super lightweight, it's super easy to use. You just have to like set up something for it to be hanging off of. And I would recommend that make sure it's hanging up against like a wall or something, because so it's not like swinging back and forth.
You can put tape on that hanger part. Put tape around it and it quits moving.
Oh, very smart, very smart. But yeah, it seriously helps so much. But again, you just kind of got to be on the lookout when stuff comes up. Can you do on Craigslist? Can you do like alerts or anything like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You can like when keywords. And
you just have it like alert you when like a mannequin gets listed. Because you never know. Yeah, there's tons of them.
Facebook Marketplace. Offer.
Oh yeah. Yes, Amanda, they're the hanging ones. But I'm telling you, like the hanging ones work if you really want like a standing one. Get the hanging ones first, just so you have something. Or I guess you can do a flat lay too. I prefer the mannequins. So, but yeah, it works really well. So yeah, Craigslist alert. There you go. All right, so I'll show a couple of things. Well, I found some Disney stuff. I found a couple of Disney sweatshirts, vintage 90s. Must have come from the same person because they're both similar design. It's an extra large. This is a grumpy sweatshirt, nice heather gray, which is a kind of popular color. It's very 90s. And then I have, to go along with it, we've got Mickey. So see, it's the same design. So I do pretty well with, if it's vintage, I will buy Disney stuff like this.
How do you know it's vintage for a sweatshirt?
This one is because it is assembled in Mexico of U.S. materials, so it's going to be late 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Because any of that where it's like U.S. Materials but assembled elsewhere is going to be late 90s, early 2000s. If it's Mexico, it's generally late 90s. I mean, I could be off by a couple of years, but I feel safe enough saying it's late 90s, so it works for me. Who's yelling for... What? How is Vicky here? What are you doing? What's happening to the children? I don't understand.
The super
We
t-shirt.
miss you, and you missed your double coming on. So
We were
there you go.
alike.
There you go. Hey, hey, Dana, Vicky's here. You should come up here if you have something to show us. You guys, Dana has like the coolest thing that she's taking pictures of right now, and I asked her if she had anything cool to show us, and she did not disappoint. So we're gonna have her come up real quick, because not only is it a one piece, it's a two piece that she's got. So she's gonna show it to us right now. Come on, guys, come on. Are you ready?
You want me to move?
And introducing Dana.
Hey guys. Hi Vicky. We miss you, obviously. Katie made us sign a disclaimer that we had to wear these to get on the show. Anyway, here's what I got. I went shopping in my friend's closet for free. And
this was in your friend's closet.
this was in my friend's
What's the
closet.
brand here? Opal.
Opal.
Fancy.
So this is kind of like really spectacular 80s garb here. Okay, so
Oh my God.
we have this denim, big shouldered jacket.
Wait,
Conch
that's denim with
shells.
shoulder pads?
With shoulder pads, thick shoulder pads, and these lovely conch shell things or whatever.
Another bolo looking.
Yeah, and suede.
Oh, amazing.
String.
Amazing.
Oh wait, there's more. My God, it comes with the matching jeans.
And not just matching jeans, matching
Whoa.
mom jeans, tapered at the bottom
Whoa.
with more of the blinkety ding ding.
These are ridiculous.
Amanda says Dolly would love that jacket.
So anyways, I got these for free.
That's pretty awesome.
Totally.
I
for
think your
free.
ROI on that's going to be screaming.
I think I'm gonna probably put it up for about $100 or so.
Oh, it's
At least.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Spectacular. Anyway, that's my
Awesome.
stuff. Hi Vicky, love you.
I'm getting a request to put the wig on, so
Oh, yeah,
it's like
you
it's my turn.
Oh,
Might be a little-
it might fit
might be a
you.
little
It might actually
Under
fit me since I have like you guys
Less-
both have
less
like manes
hair.
of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yes.
Oh, it's good. It does fit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Who is it
beautiful.
over?
Beautiful. All right. Okay, can I put my hat on over the top? Here we go. Here we go.
Looks good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
All right. What do you got? What do you got to
Alright,
show us?
Let's see. Okay. Well, I got paid $2 for this. Can you hear it?
Why is it sound like it has liquid in it?
Because it is a Harley Davidson 6-pack.
Oh, it's like a freezer pack.
Freezer
oh,
pack.
so you put that's
Yeah.
wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's when you're like you're gonna go drinking and you're like
on your motorcycle.
or I'm just like going to a business meeting, got my briefcase full of beer, right? Huh?
Yep. I paid $2 at a garage sale. Must have been in the fall, I think. So really cool. I don't know what to charge for this.
Did you find any
On
comps on it?
WorthPoint, I found for like $35 before shipping, but one just sold in June as auction for $61
Yeah.
plus shipping. So I might try
Which I think
auction. I might.
see, I would say don't do the auction because to me that tells me that you could sell it for even more than that, but do it
Oh,
as a
really?
buy it now price. Like price it at like 100.
Oh my goodness.
You know, 100 or best offer.
2001 made in USA.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, even using tools like WorthPoint, if you look at like what it sold for before,
Mhm.
also take into account how many times it sold. Because I mean, yeah, if there's like 100 of them and they all sold for around the same price, then to me that's a true comp. If it's like you only can find one that sold and there's none listed now, don't go by necessarily what that person priced it at because they might have priced it wrong. And if there aren't any others available, then you can go higher than that. But almost always, you're going to get more with a buy it now price than auction price. So, in my opinion,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I don't do auctions, so I'd rather do it that way.
Yeah. See,
All right. Cool.
what else?
What else? Here, nothing. This Spanx.
That's a
Yeah, look at it, $92.
wow. This is like full body Spanx.
Yeah, full body Spanx. It's
It's kind of
what's it called?
creepy.
Open bust mid-thigh bodysuit, size large. Spanx.
Wow.
Newer tags. I paid nothing for this because this actually came from our cars were stolen. They found the guys in this apartment complex that were like squatting. And we went over there. They told the cops to come over, get your things, claim it. Let's claim it. And then they told the property manager, just keep it, clear it out, whatever. And my husband was there, and he's like, I can do it for you.
Look at now, that's thinking on your feet right there.
So,
okay, but seriously, with the Spanx though, it's like,
I don't know.
Okay, doesn't it make it like if you're squeezing your legs in, then aren't your thighs like bursting out of it?
I don't know. You want to try it on?
No, I do not. No, I do not. Impromptu thrift says I need that. No, thank you.
I don't know. I thought about keeping it, but I guess it's worth like $70. So
yeah, new with tags. That's pretty awesome. All right, I'll show a couple of things. I got a couple more sweatshirts here. This one, this is the kind of stuff I like to get. This is like a vintage 90s. Let's see, I think it has a date on it. Yeah, 93. It's like a bunch of like, you know, I don't know if they're wild horses, Mustang, whatever, wild stallions, hanging out in, I don't know if it's like Utah or Montana or something like that. But I love this kind of stuff. This stuff sells. I can totally sell this for like $25 or something like that. I paid $4.49, so 25% off of that. Yeah, maybe even $30. People like this kind of stuff. All right. And another sweatshirt I got, vintage 90s Tommy Hilfiger jeans brand sweatshirt, full on spell out here, and I paid, it was $11.99, so I got 25% off of that. And this, I can probably sell this for $40. So every time I turn sideways, I think it's pretty awesome. I need to like cover up my sideburns a little bit. I think it's pretty good.
Really cool.
All right, I'll show one more before we go back to you. I was pretty stoked about this. This is a vintage 90s Harley Davidson long sleeve shirt. And I just really like this because I like that it has the words all the way down the sleeves. And then I also really liked the graphic on the front. I like how it has, because this is Harley, 95 years of Harley. So it's got like the really cool Harley from 1903. And then the newer one from 1998.
It's so clean.
Yeah, it's really nice and clean. This is a Las Vegas Harley shirt. So I think it's pretty awesome. I feel like I could sell this for like $50. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think I could sell it for $50. Vicky's gone. I'm Vicky right now. Anyway, Amanda says, do the cheesy t-shirts with wolves and dream catchers and the moon sell. I see those often when I'm thrifting for some reason. You know what? There's a lot of them that are new. I got to take this off because it's really hot. There's ones that are like new out there, and those don't really sell for anything. But if it's true vintage, some of them can. It's hard to say. The Dreamcatcher stuff does, because the vintage Dreamcatcher, anything like Native American, stuff like that, definitely does sell. So, you know, anyway. All right, it's hard to say because there aren't any hard and fast rules, so it's just instinct. Like I just kind of have a good feel for like what specifically will sell. So I will just say some do and some don't. Sorry, guys. What do you got?
I should pick up some. Oh, all right.
Ooh,
Doc Martens. Just.
I need to know right now, how long have you been sitting on those?
Maybe 3 months. I bought these at auction. They actually came with 2 big military. Army ponchos, camouflage ponchos, and they had them listed as combat boots. And I said, no, those are not combat boots. And yeah, it looks.
How much did you pay for them?
$25 for all 3 pieces.
Check it out. So these, I don't know if you guys know anything about Doc Marten, but you can see right here, these ones say, I don't know if you can see it. It says Made in England right there. You can see that? Made in England. There is, so not all Doc Martens are made in England. Yeah. There's one factory in England, and they are all handmade. Like they use machines and stuff like that, but they're like hand sewn everything. And I think there's only like 100.
What did Robin say? Dorothy.
Oh, well, Dana's downstairs wanting to know what size the docs are. They're pretty big.
Oh.
They look big.
Oh.
They're definitely not, yeah, they're like big size.
I'll look.
Because they're bigger than mine. Anyway, I think there's only like either 50 or to 100 people. Size 9. So now size 9 men's. So women's, that'd be like 11. I believe they only make like 40,000 pairs a year out of that factory. So if it says made in England on it, those are very specific shoes that are worth more than other.
Really?
Yeah, those are just the more desirable ones. They're like their classic ones. It's just higher.
Oh, so, word right there. Airwear.
She says she's gonna run upstairs and snatch them. They're too big for you, Dana. She's like she's gonna stuff socks in the toes so she can wear them.
Cool.
I know they are beautiful. 3 months. How can you have those? You got 2 weeks to list those. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Is there a good way? Amanda wants to know if there's a good way to check old shoes for dry rot. Well, I mean, those aren't going to have it, but there are some shoes you twist them. You can twist them, and if you twist them and they hold up, then they're good to go. Otherwise, they might fall apart. But yeah. Anyway, what's this?
Vintage.
Wow.
I know, isn't it? I saw it hanging. I was like, oh my god, that's so ugly. But Tori Richards.
Wow, that's such an interesting,
isn't it?
Like
weird?
design. Because that's usually like Hawaiian, right? It's got like kind of Hawaiian print, but the style of the dress is kind of interesting. Yeah, Golden Monarch collection.
Can I show?
Yeah, show it. There you go.
Tori Richards. Yes, it looks like a vintage tag. I saw it. I said, oh my god, that maybe is Hawaiian, kind of nightgownish looking.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, how much? $5, garage sale.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Doc Martens are always going to pass the bend test. So those boots look like they're brand spanking new. So they look really nice. All right, do you have anything left?
I got 2, but we're running out of time.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'll show
you. Got somewhere you got to be. Well, hold on. I'll show a couple. Oh no, you go ahead and show it since you already got his face in there. WCW, whatever, the Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage.
I forgot this guy's name. Hulk Hogan, the Buddies, wrestling buddies.
Ooh, that's awesome. How old are these?
98.
Wow, 98. So these are actually vintage.
Oh, he's not working now. I know he did work a while ago.
Just beating on him. Interesting.
Oh, that one don't work.
Oh, okay.
But the rest do work.
Have you tried changing the batteries?
I did. I actually just put batteries in. Anyways, I got these at auction also. Maybe it was $30 after the premium. I think they'll sell for, well, I know the name, like Hulk Hogan might be worth more. Randy Savage.
Quit touching them.
Randy Savage might be worth more, but they're about $25 to $35 a piece.
Okay.
Yeah. They're fun though.
And how long you say you've had those?
Oh, I can't remember. At least since February. At least.
Still, I'm never gonna stop yelling. Lorna says, yeah, just don't touch them or they're gonna keep doing it.
Okay.
Lorna says, Dorothy, I'm gonna crack a whip on you every dang day this month to get you to list all this great stuff. I can only imagine what else she has hidden in her house right now, guys, that she's been sitting on that should be selling. And also, so another thing is, so in the Boss Facebook group, which if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, make sure you join it. The link is down below. In the Boss Facebook group, every day I do a hashtag 2 or 2 challenge. And that's basically to get people to list at whatever platform you're on, to list at least 2 items every day, just so you're keeping active. And for eBay specifically, it's either list 2 new items or end your 2 oldest items, do a sell similar, rework them so that you come up with a fresh new listings. And you had something that you did that with and it sold like right away.
Oh yeah,
what happened?
I did that yesterday. I refreshed. I ended and sell similar on some sheet set, and I think I had it on there for at least 20 months.
20 months, guys.
At
almost
least.
2 years it was sitting
at
there.
Least. A lot of my stores
how much
like
they
that
sell
though.
for?
Like $30.
Okay.
Plus.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Because
you can do those like way more quickly than a whole new listing. So like every day I've been slacking on it before, but recently I've been doing at least 12 to 13, 14 of them every day. Because it do take me a little bit of time because I'm redoing my titles, redoing my description to have them in line with how I do them now. And then also cross-posting them over to Etsy if they're vintage. So it takes me a little bit of time, but I've been doing that every single day. And I want to get to the point where I have nothing that is over 3 months old because I want everything to get to do sell similar every 3 months. So that's the plan.
This is my last one.
Okay, show it to us. Show it to us.
And I don't remember again. It had been over half a year ago. Bought from the auction. And this is what I'm talking about. The auction in the back area where it's like lots of just stuff crammed in. They don't even look at half of that stuff that's in there. I bought it. It was a big lot of purses. I found a Joe's. I don't even know Joe's jeans.
I don't know anything about purses.
Joe's jeans. Anyways, I recognized Joe's jeans, and it was brand new with tags. So I said, "Ooh, I want that one because of that purse." And buried inside that purse lot, and I paid $25 for the lot. Nobody else bid against me. And I got this Anushka. I guess that's how you say it.
Okay. What does it sell for?
Anushka. I don't know. These are all over the place. I bet you Lorna would know.
Lorna, help us.
I don't even know the style of purse because I don't know that stuff either. I'm not a girly girl. I like jeans.
I don't know nothing.
I like jeans and t-shirts. That's what I like. So I don't even know the style of purse. If Lorna could kind of tell me what kind of purse this is. It's got some scuffs. Anushka. They go. It just depends.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I got it down at I would like 100.
It's pretty awesome.
But I gotta list it first, right?
Yeah, you have to list it. I mean, you're getting all these great deals at the auction house, and then you're not listing it. So you need to get on it. Start doing your two or two. Robin says it's a shoulder purse, hand painted.
Shoulder purse.
Angie wants to know what's the going rate paying someone to take pictures. It just depends. Different people do it different ways. I know Dana's here doing her own pictures right now, but she does do pictures for Vicky as well. I believe she pays her hourly, but a lot of people pay per item. So I don't know. Some people pay like $2 per listing, but that's going through the entire process. That's pictures, measurements, and actually listing it. So I've heard like 50 cents an item to list. I don't know, but maybe somebody else has got it going on. Yeah, I see a lot of people over here yelling at you to list stuff.
But I can't see it on my glasses.
Lorna says, the more you show, the more I want to crack that whip. Anyway, all right, so I'll show a couple of things real quick. T-shirts. I just thought this was interesting because this is from 1996, but it actually has a .com on it. So it's like an early, I haven't looked it up or anything, but some sort of early Silicon Graphics computer system. So kind of computer nerdy thing. I don't even know if this company's around anymore, 3D for the New World, but I love that it's like from 96 and it's got the .com. So it's very early interweb stuff. This is not vintage, but it's Triumph motorcycles, and their shirts do go for a decent amount. So I think I can sell this. I paid $3.49, 25% off of that. I think I can sell this for $25, $30, even though it's not vintage.
See, again, it's white. How do you find all these clean white shirts?
I don't know.
Everything.
Robin says for the purse, I would go $180 and free shipping.
Holy shit. Oh, sorry.
Interesting. All right. All right.
Okay.
This t-shirt is vintage Lone Star Steakhouse and Saloon, but I like the back because it says "Don't mess with Texas." But this is a vintage 90s t-shirt. Okay, guys, I'm down to my last two things that are like the best things that I have. So before I show you the thing I teased earlier, check this sweet baby out. People for Perot.
Ooh,
People for Perot. Can I finish? Can I finish? So this is from, what would that be? Would that be early? I'm trying to remember what year it was that he ran. Was that late 80s? Was that 88 or 92?
it had to be late.
Was it 88?
Late 80s.
Somebody tell me. But how sweet is this? It's got some discoloration issues, probably just from storage. You can see it's, well, you probably can't see it, but there's like it's like darker right here. But this is a sweet, sweet t-shirt, and I'm pretty stoked about it. And I mean, it's got this Hanes tag. This Hanes tag is the Hanes tag from the late 80s, early 90s. So it could be either of those. Again, I'd have to look up. I don't remember when he ran. I think it was 88, right? Am I wrong? I don't remember.
I'm not telling.
You're not telling?
No.
All right, guys. This is the thing that I found. I saw it, and let me tell you, when you have been, well, especially because I thrifted in Oregon, because that's where I started selling. When you've been doing it for a while and you get to know this brand, you get to where you can recognize the fabric and the pattern from a mile away. Google says Pro is 92, so it was 92. So you get to where you can recognize this fabric and the patterns from like a mile away, and you get super excited. I saw this. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm finding this in Vegas. You guys, we're talking Pendleton board shirt made in the U.S. This is vintage. Now, this isn't one of the super old vintages, but hold on a second. So first of all, they had a price at $9.99. In Oregon, this shirt would have been listed for probably out for like 20 bucks. So $9.99, I got it for 25% off. You can see it says, where does it say? It says somewhere, there it is. Okay. So you can see this is the tag. So this is a 90s tag, made in the US. This is a wool board shirt. Now here's the thing. Pendleton, when it comes to shirts, the board shirts are the most desirable.
What's a board shirt?
So this is what a board shirt is. So it is just a wool kind of flannel shirt, but here's how you know it's a board shirt. See the pockets? No button.
Oh.
It is just a flap. So when you see that, that's one thing. It also has the loop collar. So you can see it's a little loop. So at the very top, the loop hooks over the button. Okay. And then the third thing is it has a straight bottom. It doesn't have tails. It's just straight across. So you can see that?
Chulo shirt.
Yeah. So these are very, very popular for like surfers and skateboarders. Yeah, kind of. And but these are the ones that are the most popular. Even now, like if you go on the Pendleton website, a brand new board shirt runs from $100 to like $140 to $150. This is a 3XL. It's in excellent condition. It has no moth holes. This, I'm sure because of the size, I think I can sell it for at least $120, $130, maybe a little more. But seriously, guys, I found this puppy in Vegas, and I'm super stoked about it. Other things to look for when it comes to Pendleton, just go look at men's clothing. Sort highest to lowest in the solds, and you'll see like those sweet Southwestern jackets with the Southwestern print. If you are a fan of the Big Lebowski, the cardigan he's wearing in that is Pendleton. I actually found a vintage one exactly like his on the Big Lebowski in the bins in Oregon. So I only paid a couple bucks for it, sold it for $200. But man, the ones that have the jackets that have the Southwest print and any like sweaters and stuff like that, amazing. So woo, woo, woo. Is there a tag on the inside, front, bottom near the buttons? Why? I gotta pull on it. Why do you ask? Let's see. Let me see.
No, maybe the other stuff.
No, it's just on the inside, front, bottom near the buttons. I don't see one. But I don't know. I don't know what that would be. What do I need that tag for? Anyway, yeah, Elsa says I have one. I will have to check it out. Yeah, big difference between the board shirts and regular shirts. The regular shirts do okay, but the board shirts are the ones that if they're in really good condition, if they say made in the US, especially if they're ones from like the 60s, like you can sell, I think the most I've sold one for is like 150, but they sell for a lot. And even the ones that have some moth holes in them, if they have like a minimal amount of them, you can still sell them for 30, 40 bucks, depending on where the holes are. Amanda wants to know if I recommend avoiding stuff you buy for $1 and sell for 15. Yeah, I mean, everybody has a different selling style and different model that they use. But you have to think about like, what are your goals? Like if you want to, let's say you want to make a full-time living, you just can't waste your time as one person. You can't waste your time buying things for $1 and selling them for 15, because you have to, especially if we're talking about one-offs, because you have to think about the fact that you're having to take a picture of every single one, and then you're having to list every single one, and then when you sell it, you have to package every single one, and you have to think about what your time is worth. And you can buy only doing one-offs that you buy for $1 and sell for 15. Or if you have the capital to suddenly hire people to help you, you can do stuff like that. But then your overhead's going to be a lot more. Now, if you
say, unless it's like, you know, you got a bunch of the same ones.
Right. Let's say you found something that you can reliably sell for $15 over and over and over again, and you've got 50 of them, and it's only one listing, and you're going to sell it like crazy, then yeah, that's a totally different story. Definitely. But if you're out there and you're having to thrift and hustle to find stuff, don't pay $1 for something you're going to sell for 15. Now, I do it with t-shirts where I'll pay a couple bucks for something I'm selling for 25. But I think t-shirts are fun, and t-shirts are super fast because the pictures are front, back, tag. I only have to do 2 measurements, just the length and the underarms, and then listing them, I do sell similar, so it's super fast. So you can like run through them really quickly. So you got to kind of take into account like what your what's going to take. Like hard goods are take longer to photograph because everything's different, right? So if you have all these different hard goods and you paid, it depends, but you paid like $1 for each of them, it's like you kind of have to change your setup for everything and take different types of photos. Usually the descriptions, that takes a little bit longer. And so I don't know. Yeah. So really, in my opinion, if you're just doing it on your own and you don't have visions of like creating an empire where you have all these people working under you and you just want to be able to make a good living on your own, really focusing on bringing up your average sale price if you can and getting better at recognizing brands and like finding the stuff that, you know, because it's like Dorothy, like you've got access to so much stuff, right? And you clearly like know what to buy. So you could probably focus on more of the higher valued items and stop going after the little stuff.
I need to stop listing.
Because I can kind of get it if you're somewhere where you can't source enough stuff. Maybe you're limited to what you can find. But even then, I think you can still do better. Right. And for you, because you have all this stuff at home, it's like worth a lot of stuff, and you also have the places you can go, like the auction house where you can find good stuff. To me, it is wasting your time to list that.
I know. I'm trying to do that.
Especially if you're not listing it at all.
At least $25 and up, unless I have multiple quantities of the same thing, like the Disney pins. Some of them know, but it's boom, boom, done. You know, and just change the character name. So.
Right, and also, like I think it was Teresa who had said something to somebody. Oh yeah, because Cheryl like had listed like 8 things, and Teresa was like, "Go grab your most expensive thing and list one more before you go to bed." And that's a really, really good point. If you have
that was to Cheryl.
Yes, to Cheryl. So if you have 20 items at home or 1,000 items at home, you should be listing your most valuable stuff first because you only have a certain amount of time to get stuff done. Like when I go out and I buy a bunch of stuff. Let's say I get some jackets and some t-shirts, whatever is the most valuable, it's the first thing I list. And then I go on to the stuff that's a little less valuable.
Whereas
you probably
I did the small things first.
Did you list yesterday?
I did.
What was the lowest value thing that you listed yesterday?
I did pins, probably $7, $8.
$7, $8.
I did more pins.
You guys,
I did more pins.
Yesterday she listed pins for $7 or $8. And this is sitting in her house unlisted. These boots.
Shame.
Which I'm sure, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but they got to go for at least over 100, right? So you got these boots sitting there, and she's spending time listing pins. So this is not to shame Dorothy, but this is just to give you guys an idea of like how you should be approaching the stuff that you have in your house, particularly when you have a lot of stuff that's waiting to be listed.
This is true.
Tackle the most expensive stuff first, but then keep going after that. So anyway, all right, we're after 3 o'clock now. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Dorothy, thank you for coming and overcoming your fear of being on camera and being berated and shamed by me. But you showed us some really cool stuff, and now you've got your challenge to get all that stuff listed in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I bet you're going to start selling it right away. And guys, again, join the Boss Facebook group if you're not already in it. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit subscribe.
Thumbs up.
Yep, and hit that thumbs up button for me. Yeah, thanks again, and have an awesome rest of your weekend. Oh, and also one more thing. On Wednesday, the Boss Up and List live show, we are going to have another special guest. Another Boss Facebook group member, Brooks, is going to be coming on. Teresa's going to be on with us as well. And we are going to be talking about our hashtag top secret project that we have been talking about. We've been kind of teasing it over the last few weeks or so. We've been working on a top secret project with Brooks and basically developing some really super cool tools. And I think you guys are going to want to hear what he has been working on, and you're going to want to get on board with us and take advantage of using some of the stuff. I can't tell you anything else about it, but you need to come watch the show on Wednesday. You'll be able to ask questions there. But I'm telling you, you want to get in on this. It's going to be super cool, and I'll be putting some more information about that later. So anyway, again, thanks, and we will see you later. Boss up.